Hey, what's going on, guys? Nick here, and the Overwatch beta is finally out. It's so fucking amazing. I cannot tell you how excited I was for this game to actually come out, and it's not even here yet. I'm over here playing the beta, and I'm like, I'm okay with this. Like, I could just play this all day, every day, and I'll be okay, because it seems really polished for what was given to us so far. And yeah, I know it's not 100% balanced right now. There's still some characters that need to be adjusted, but so far the game is pretty well put together. So I wanted to make a video real quick and show you guys all the characters that I'm making, and not all the characters I'm making, all the characters that are in this game, what their play style is, so when the game actually comes out, you guys can have a better understanding of who you want to be or what goes well together inside of a team. So I want to go ahead and get started with the offensive characters, and I'm going to get started with Genji. So Genji is this badass ninja guy, and his weapon is Shuriken. So he can throw 3 at a time, sort of like a 3-round burst weapon, but if you alternate click, you throw it in sort of like a 3-way spread. So you're always throwing 3 shurikens no matter what. It's either going to be 3 in a row or 3 in like a spread out. So it's really cool. If you're dealing with people kind of far away, you could just worry about throwing the 3 at a time. But if you have people moving around all over the place and you can't quite get your mark on them, you just throw them in the spray and you can get 1 shuriken on them. It's not as much damage, but it's better than nothing. His first ability is called Deflect, and what it does is with lightning quick swipes of his sword, Genji reflects an oncoming projectile and sends it rebounding towards his opponent. So basically, what's going to happen is someone's going to be shooting at you, and you're just going to use this ability, and you're just basically going to deflect every single bullet that they fire towards you back at them or in another direction. So it's really good when there's a defensive team firing on you, and you just run in, use your deflect, and just start deflecting all of their bullets while they're focused on you. Your team just kind of rushes in and cleans house. His second ability is called Swift Strike, and what it does is Genji darts forward, slashing with his katana and passing foes in his path. If Genji eliminates a target, he can instantly use this ability again. It's actually really cool. So basically you just do a dash, and if you dash into an enemy, you do quite a lot of damage towards them. It's a very good like 2-step combo, so you're going to want to like dash towards an enemy and immediately turn around and just start throwing your shurikens at them just to take them out as quickly as possible. It's pretty effective. His ultimate ability called Dragon Blade, and what it does is Genji brandishes his katana for a brief period of time until he sheathes his sword. So basically he just pulls out a sword and you can use it as a primary weapon. You just have to click and you just start swinging the blade. It's incredibly powerful, especially when you're in a close quarter scenario. You can pretty much handle any kind of situation thrown at you. So yeah, Genji, he's really fast. He can climb up on walls. He's a little squishy, so you don't want to go at it alone, but he's a good frontline enemy, and he's also very good at like picking off other opponents. Alright, so the next character that we're going to look at is McCree, and he really reminds me of the Spy in TF2, not so much in his playstyle, but the weapon that he uses. He has his revolver, the Peacekeeper. So basically what happens is McCree fires his 6-cylinder pistol, which he can also be used rapidly at the cost of accuracy. So basically if you just left click, you're just going to fire, and it's a little slow. It's good for like long range picking people off. I usually use it by picking, like going on and off corners, just like fire, go behind corner, come out, fire, go behind corner, come out, fire, until they end up dying. But if you right click, you just unload your whole entire clip as fast as possible, and it does an insane amount of damage. So again, this is when you're in that close quarter scenario and they're right up in your face. You just pull the right clicker and you just unleash everything on him. It's really effective. His first ability, Combat Roll, what it does is McCree rolls forward in the direction he's moving. Casting Combat Roll will automatically reload Peacekeeper. So if you're in a firefight, you run out of bullets and they're still firing at you, just Combat Roll out of there and you are automatically reloaded, ready to jump back into the fight. His second ability, Flashbang, is actually kind of a staple in how you want to play McCree. What he does is McCree throws a flash grenade that explodes after a brief delay. The blast stuns enemies in a small radius. So this is really effective when people get up in your face or when you're going to enter inside of a room or something. You're just going to throw this. Preferably you want to throw it by their feet. That way you know you're always going to hit them. If you try and throw it at their body and if they sidestep, you're missing completely and you're just going to end up getting killed. But if you throw it at their feet, the blast radius should be enough to hit him as long as you're kind of in the same kind of direction as the enemy. And it's really good to hit someone with your flashbang and just unload all of your bullets on them. You can pretty much kill any other hero. It's really effective against Tracer because Tracer likes to like bounce around all over the place. So all you have to do is stop them in her tracks and just take her out as quickly as possible. McCree's ultimate ability, Deadeye. After a slight delay, McCree shoots every enemy in his sights. The lower a target's health, the faster the kill shot aims. So I'm trying to... If you've ever played Red Dead Redemption, it's kind of like his ultimate ability where you can kind of just like paint targets and shoot, but it's a little bit harder. So there is a dot on each enemy and there's going to be a circle that's slowly getting smaller on each enemy. And once it hits that red zone, you pull the trigger, it gets a headshot on them. So it's a little hectic, especially if you're going to be using it in a firefight and all the enemies are shooting at you. But if you get people unaware, you could take out an entire team with it. Me and a couple of my buddies, we were running the other day, and McCree just single-handedly wiped out our whole entire team with that because we were too focused on other enemies and we didn't hear his ultimate cry. He's a pretty interesting character. I like playing with him a lot. He's a definitely strong candidate for the offensive side. So the next offensive class we have is... where is she? Farah? I don't know how to pronounce it, but she is the closest thing to the soldier in TF2 as you're gonna get. So her main weapon is a rocket launcher, and Farah's basic attack derived from her rocket launcher. Although she cannot fire quickly, rockets deal massive amounts of damage to a large blast radius. So again, like McCree's flashbang special, you don't want to be firing at them, because all they have to do is kind of dodge out of the way and you just wasted a shot. So the most effective way to use Farah, if you're not shooting at like a stationary enemy like Bastion who's not going to move, is to fire at their feet. The blast radius should be enough to do effective damage against them, and plus if there is going to be a group of enemies, firing at all of their feet just increases the effectiveness of the rocket launcher. Her ability, Jump Jet, basically what it does is propels her straight into the air. It's the easy form of rocket jumping in TF2. You don't have to do anything. You just push the button and you're just launched straight into the air. Also, if you hold the space bar with Farah, what she does is she kind of like uses her jetpack and hovers over the air in a little bit of time. So basically, you want to use the jump jet, get up right in the air and just hold space bar. That way you're just kind of just hanging around in the air and you could just rain hell above. It's really effective when there's people hiding behind corners and they're just waiting for people to come across. You just jump over the corner and just start raining on him. It's very effective. Her second ability, Concussion Blast. What it does is Farah fires a wrist rocket, knocking back all targets it hits while dealing immense damage to barriers and shields. So again, Farah, you want to be aiming for their feet, but if they're running at you, like if they're right in your face, firing a rocket at point blank is not going to be a good idea. So use a concussive blast. They blast far away from them, and once they hit the ground, just fire at their feet, and it's a good 1-2 combo. Farah's ultimate ability, Barrage. This is actually one of my favorite specials. It's such a cool idea, and seeing it implemented into a match is such a badass attack. What she does is Farah fires a barrage of rockets, dealing damage to a large group of targets. So if you pair this with your jump jet and your jetpack, you are in the air floating around, use your ability, and you just rain down hell on everybody. If they have turrets, if they have a defensive post, jump into the air, use the barrage, they're gone right after that. She is a very good character. I like playing with her a lot. She's a very good pusher. The next objective character, arguably one of my favorite classes in this game, is Reaper. And he is this badass motherfucker. He is like kind of like the sneaking around class in this game. So his weapons are the Hellfire shotguns. And Reaper uses twin shotguns as basic attacks. Although they have shorter range than most ranged characters, they deal more damage. So if you're in a close range combat with Reaper and it's just you and him, unless you're playing a certain class, you are not going to come out of that fight. He deals so much damage up close. I've seen him single-handedly take down Roadhogs and other tanks just from his shotguns alone. They're incredibly powerful, which is good because his other two abilities don't deal damage. They're just meant for moving around. Like Wraith form, what he does is he becomes a shadow for a short period of time. While in Wraith form, Reaper takes no damage. He can pass through enemies but cannot fire or use other abilities. So Reaper's biggest enemy is Mei in this game because she could freeze them, and since you need to be in a close quarters combat, if she freezes you, you're pretty much dead. So using Wraith form is good for either sneaking to the enemy side of the map so you can catch them unawares, or if you're in a close range scenario where you're not going to win that fight, Wraith form, just back out of it. Just get out of there until you can convene. Because if you die, that's like a 6-second respawn timer. If you just back up, get some healing, come back, it'll be a lot faster than having to respawn, run back to the point or objective you're trying to be heading towards. It's pretty good. His other ability, Shadow Stepped, is it's kind of cool. It's like basically a teleporter. You place a marker, and then Reaper disappears and reappears on the marker. It takes a couple seconds, so you don't want to be using this while you're in the sight of enemies, because all they have to do is keep shooting at you, and then you're going to die. But once you teleport, it's really effective for getting behind enemy lines. What I usually do is if I'm playing like King of the Hill or something, I will teleport to a higher elevated position where they can't really get to at the start of the match, and I'll just like kind of just wait there, wait for them. If no one comes, I'll just go behind them and wait for them to spawn in, run towards the point, and I just get them all unawares. And he does so much damage that before they even knows what's going on, they're pretty much gone. It's also really effective to use his special in scenarios like this, which is called Death Blossom. And what it does is Reaper becomes a blur when firing his shotguns all around him, dealing incredible damage to all nearby enemies. So if you've ever played Diablo 3, what's the class called? Demon Hunter, and use the ability where you're firing your arrows in a circle and you're just spinning around, it's basically that. You just start firing in a complete radius around you, so anybody caught in the blast dies. The only downside is if they know that you're coming, they're just going to fire at you and focus all their power at you and just take you out. But if you're behind them and they don't know you're there, you pop that special, again, before they even notice that you're there, they're going to be dead. Like, there's no chance unless they're running a tank or mercy healing combo. Again, Reaper, he's very, very good at close range. Probably one of the best ones in the game. But once you get out of that close range scenario, you're pretty much useless if you can't find a way to close the distance between you and the enemy. Alright, so that was Reaper. The next offensive class we have is going to be Soldier 76. And to me, he's like the Call of Duty class. He is the casual player's class because his spills, attacks are all incredibly easy to master. And it's going to be what the staple that all the people are going to be playing once they get the game. If they have no idea what class to be, Soldier 76 is a great choice for you. So his weapon is the heavy pulse rifle. So he fires in a rapid succession while remaining mostly steady. So it's basically an assault rifle. It's pretty accurate to even the farthest of ranges. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but if you just keep firing at them, they're going to go down. Let's see. He also has a secondary fire with his assault rifle, and that's called the Helix rockets. And what it does is he fires like 3 small rockets from his rifle, and the resulting explosion deals damage to immediately surrounding enemies. So the blast radius isn't as amazing as, say, like Farah or anything else, but it is pretty effective when there's enemies grouped up. You're just going to shoot them with your assault rifle and just alt fire, just fire the rocket at them, and they pretty much go down. His first ability is called Sprint, which you guys are going to be able to know this. If you've played a shooter and you've sprinted a game before, it's exactly sprint. This is the only class in the game that can sprint, and I feel like that's fair because each class has its own speed and stuff, but Soldier 76 can get to a point and get out of it very, very quickly. It's very good. The second ability, Biotic Field, which is also really effective. He plants a biotic emitter into the ground, healing all allies within the field. So it doesn't have the greatest radius. That's a drawback of it. But if you put it down while you're on a point and all you guys are protecting it, they'll stay alive for the most part. It's really effective at keeping people alive, or if you are losing a gunfight behind a corner or something and you're just dying, pop that, you're good to go in like 2 seconds and you just keep firing. Ultimate ability, Tactical Visor. Soldier 76's visor locks onto targets in his field of view, making all bullets fired hit lock targets automatically. When an enemy leaves Soldier 76 line of sight, he can quickly switch targets. So basically it's auto aim. Any enemy that's in your sight while you use this ability, you just start firing at them. All you have to do is hold down the trigger and you're just going to unload everything on them. If you pair this with your Helix rockets, you can handle a lot of shit in a short amount of time. The very first time I played this game, the first match I went into, I was playing Soldier 76. I used his ability. I got, I think, 5 kills in a row. It's ridiculous how easy it is to use his ability and how easy it is to do good with this class. This is probably one of the classes I go to when my team is doing shit and I need to do well no matter what, because he can heal, he can sprint to the objective, his ability can kill things really fast, and he has rockets. So all in all, he's a very well-rounded attacking class. All right. The last defensive class that we have for right now is going to be Tracer. And oh my god, I want to be good as Tracer so badly. And I feel like the only reason why I want to be good as Tracer is because she's like the scout in TF2. She's the fast class that dances around enemies and kills them. And I was decent with the scout, but he was definitely my favorite class in that game. So I want to be good with Tracer, but I'm just not the best with her. Don't know why. Her weapons are going to be pulse pistols, and they're basically just machine pistols. They shoot incredibly fast, but the clip drains in like 2 seconds. Reloads fast though, so all you have to do is just fire, go behind corner, reload, fire, go behind corner, reload, fire, or just use her abilities to get around. Her first ability is called Blink. And what Tracer does is she teleports forward several yards away and can store up to 3 charges of Blink at once. So the learning curve for Tracer is really hard because you have to know when the appropriate time to use Blink and when to stay in the position that you're at and fire. Because the playstyle that I like to use as Tracer is I would shoot at somebody once they know of my presence, dash, so I can flank them while they're looking for me, just fire at them more, dash until I flank them again, and just keep firing and flanking. Like that's the most effective way that I have been able to play with Tracer. Her second ability, which is also really effective at flanking enemies, is called Recall. And what Tracer does is she manipulates time, resetting her health, ammo, and position of the map to precisely where they were a few seconds ago. So let's say you're running and you see an enemy. They blast you and take out 75% of your health. If you recall right when you take that damage, you reset back like 3 seconds to where you were, your health is fine. You're back to where you were at that point in time a couple seconds ago. It's very effective when... She's a very effective scout, and the fact that you start blinking towards the enemy objective, you see where all the enemies are, you sit rep to your teammates, hey, there's going to be a Roadhog on the point, or there's a Bastion guarding it, and then you just recall once they see you. There you go. You just gave them all a basic UAV where they know where the enemies are going to be at, so you know how to maneuver around them. She's a very, very good class. Her ultimate ability is a little difficult to actually hit people with. So what it does is Tracer throws an adhesive bomb sticking to whatever surface or opponent it lands on. After a brief delay, the bomb explodes, dealing massive damage to all enemies within the blast radius. It sounds like a really good ability. The only thing is the blast radius is pretty small. It's very easy to dodge it if she doesn't end up sticking it to you. and getting it to stick on enemies is kind of difficult. If you want the best way to do it, you just want to have to blink right past them, quickly turn around, throw the bomb, and either blink away or just recall back. So they're looking at where you were firing at you. The bomb is on them, but you're behind them again from the starting position. She's a very fun class. The learning curve is definitely hard, but I feel like once you master Tracer, she is a wreck house. That's going to be all the offensive heroes so far for this game. Again, my favorite one so far for the defensive side, I would have to say it's either going to be Tracer or Reaper. Reaper is just all around good for either attacking or defending, especially if you're on the point defending. If they are on it and you have your ultimate, just find a way to make sure they don't see you. Pop your ultimate, you clear that objective. Soldier 76, again, very good. He's very good at the medium ranges. So if you can't close the distance with the Reaper, Soldier 76 is definitely a good choice. Tracer, again, it's really hard. McCree is a very good choice as well. He's good for attacking and defending with his flashbang and Peacekeeper combo. Genji, I like Genji. I want to be good with Genji. I'm just not. And I've seen people be good with Genji, but for me right now, I feel like he's more of like the gimmick class. All the gamers love playing as ninjas, so of course everyone's going to be trying to go towards him because they want to be, oh, I want to be a badass ninja. I'm so fucking cool because I'm a ninja. And in all reality, he's kind of squishy. I mean, he's good at taking down enemies single-handedly, but you're faced with a group of enemies and you're better off just like running away. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. I'm probably going to do one for each set. So this is going to be the offensive one. I think next I'm going to work on the defense, then tank, and then healing. I love all these classes pretty much. Like, I could play all of them and do pretty decent in. And that's what I really like about Overwatch is it's so diverse, and if you just practice with all the characters, you can go into any lobby and just handle stuff. If you have a team of all offensive, you could be like, okay, I'm going to go support, and I'm going to help you guys out. If there's all defensive, it's like, okay, I'm going to go support, and I'm going to keep them away from you so you guys are prepared for when they do end up coming in. And that's what I have been looking for in a competitive game. So anyways, I don't want to give a review right now, but thank you guys for checking out this video. Please be sure to like, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter because I'm going to be streaming this game a lot when it comes out. And following me on Twitter is the best way to find out when I'm going to be streaming or when I actually upload a video or anything like that. So again, Twitter is very important. Again, thank you guys for watching. Please stay tuned for more Overwatch gameplay. I am excited to bring you guys some more. I'm having a blast with this game. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good one.